You know what they say, saying goodbye is one of the hardest things to do. And so today, if you guys will just take a few moments with me, I'm going to take a moment to say goodbye and tell you some of the amazing things that I can celebrate over the last 20 years and to thank you for being part of the journey. So hi, if you guys don't know already, my name is Jamie. I've been doing, that's upside down, gettingcrafty.net. That's my blog. And I've been doing Stampin' Up! For over 20 years now. I signed up 2 weeks before giving birth to my firstborn daughter, and I had at the time 2 stepdaughters, a toddler son, and I had I think 3 exchange students that I was dealing with and a group of 25 or 30 exchange students that were coming in. I had started a journey to become a scrapbooking and create for my exchange students a scrapbook that I can send home with them. And so I had gone out and purchased a bunch of supplies. I was already making cards, and I kind of rolled into Stampin' Up! One of the traditions that my grandmother was amazing at that I always cherished was receiving a card from her with a handwritten note inside. So I took that upon myself, and I was sending out hundreds and hundreds of dollars of cards a month to our family and friends in order to celebrate their life. And from there, my creative spirit came into play where I wanted to create the cards for them. I learned the skills. I also was a business person before I became a stay-at-home mom. I climbed the corporate ladder very early, had very big success in the corporate world and the lending and finance industry. And when I became a stay-at-home mom, that piece was kind of missing, that earning income, contributing to my family, being part of mentoring others, etc. So I joined Stampin' Up! And back then the kit was $399. You had to add on, I think you got to pick 1 stamp set or 2 and 1 color ink pad and 1 color paper. I remember getting Yo-Yo Yellow and Tempting Turquoise and a scrapbook kit for $50 more on top of that. We had to apply and send it in via fax. So that tells you how long ago. 2006 seems like a blink of an eye, and it really has been, but wow, has this journey been amazing. In that time frame, I've built an amazing award-winning team with people that I still am friends and traveling with today. I have friends all over the world on the global platform, and as I became part of the top 1% within Stampin' Up!, I was able to grow in deeper fellowship and relationship with those men and women that were in the same journey. I've been on the global platform to educate for Stampin' Up! On multiple occasions, with educating over 60,000 people across the world on things like success through planning, marketing plans. I also, let me see if it's right here. Yep. Was one of the largest fundraisers for Stampin' Up! Was the Making a Difference, the Heart of Stampin' Up! Commitment. And it was one of the largest fundraisers for foster care kids because that was part of my journey, my heritage. I was in and out of foster care. We had an interesting childhood and raising. And so being able to turn around and contribute to foster care families that were in need, this became a global fundraiser through Stampin' Up! During the lockdowns while we were in the process of moving. Actually, I was awarded it and then we moved. So I flew back to California for that foster care fundraiser, and we had created so much excitement and inspiration that demonstrators and customers from all over the world were contributing to the wish list for this foster care agency that serves thousands upon thousands of foster care families on the regular. And if you've ever been in foster care, dignity is often removed from kids. So that's a whole nother thing. And this was an ability to give dignity back, give them a brand new backpack that was super nice, full of school supplies, crafting kits. We actually provided, thanks to Stampin' Up! And this global participation, we were able to provide bedding, flooring, pots and pans to those that had aged out, even to families that were getting kids on the quick notice and they didn't have a bed for them to lay in. There would be this agency of James Storehouse in Thousand Oaks, California, that would get them a bed, right? Stampin' Up! Contributed to all of that, as well as all of the demonstrators and the customers from around the world. So much so that when I would attend Stampin' Up! Events as a leader and a speaker, I would get stopped by people that I see a tiny little thumbnail on the screen, and they were so excited to have been part of that part of the journey with Stampin' Up! And my own journey. So I have been blessed to speak on multiple different arenas on business, and it is a passion of mine. I've been blessed to raise an amazing team. To participating in raising my family alongside of a team and seeing these women and men actually achieve great success within Stampin' Up! And in their incoming for their family. Multi-level marketing is not a sham, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people who say that, and Stampin' Up! Is going through a lot of transitions right now, but guess what? So am I. And so this last year we had a major scare with my husband and his health. But not only that, we had some major scares over the last couple of years with my own health. And so Stampin' Up! Has been something I can lean back on and find a success. Sometimes just creating a card when life feels chaotic can help you to feel like you've created something with success. You're able to give away and bless somebody through this process. You're able to create something beautiful and witness that. I actually was part of the MOPS, Mothers of Preschoolers organization for our area, and we created crafts on the regular. And one of the reasons that creating crafts for MOPS groups, the mentality behind it for the organization is that women that are raising children very rarely can see the fruits of their labor while they're in the midst of it. So having them create something like a handmade card or another form of craft is an amazing way to bless somebody with empowerment and skill and like to see something that they've fruitfully created. Our children grow for years and we don't always get to see the fruits of the labor that we think we are pouring into them. And life is precious. We don't have a moment to spare, right? Like it is what it is. So as I am, oh my gosh, my camera, I just realized is kind of close to me. We have moved across the United States and taken people along my Stampin' Up! Journey with that. We went from Thousand Oaks, California, and actually we started off in Quartz Hill, California. We've gone to Thousand Oaks, California, and from there I was able to move to Fort Wayne, Indiana general area. And from there I've worked with Marion, Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Leo, Indiana, like I just got myself into everything. I still am a crafter. So I'm still leading, actually I'm on the docket right now to lead about 60 to 70 women at our women's ministry event retreat coming up in October at our church with a craft. And I did that before with Stampin' Up! Products and it was wonderful, and I may use Stampin' Up! Products again. I am still traveling with many of the people that were on my award-winning team. I still talk to them on the regular. Just because I'm saying goodbye does not mean I'm saying goodbye. I'm not saying I'm not available to people. I'm saying that this is a new season for me and my family, and I'm really grateful for what the last 20 years has brought me. What's really funny is 20 years, most people don't stay in an industry that long. They don't stay in a company. And I have watched Stampin' Up! Flex and grow, as well as watched my own family flex and grow. I've been able to have my daughter when I was pregnant and signed up, 2 more daughters since. Both of my stepdaughters have married and I have son-in-laws now, and I have a grandson. I've watched my son get married and he and his wife are expecting. It's all, life just keeps changing. People have graduated out. I went from being in public school with my kids and being on the PTA to becoming a homeschool mom, right? All of that I did alongside of paper crafting. And one of the things I'm really grateful for is that I'm not giving up paper crafting and I'm not giving up my friendships globally. I still talk to so many people all around the world that I've met through Stampin' Up! Whether it be through my videos where I have created with people along line for my lives, to people I've met that came in and joined our Getting Crafty cruises, our Getting Crafty retreats that we would do, weekend long plus retreats, week-long crafting cruises where we got to vacation and create alongside of together. 2 weekends up in Big Bear Lake. If you know me, I'm a big nature girl. And actually when we moved to Indiana, we purchased a home on a river with a peninsula that we own and love. And it's just an amazing journey. And so I'm not giving up any of those memories. Those have been a part of my heritage, much less, much like my heritage of being a pastor's daughter to a pastor's granddaughter and great granddaughter, and I think we have 7 generations of pastors in our family, by the way, to being a mom and a wife and a sister and a daughter. In the midst of my Stampin' Up! Journey, we have lost both of my grandparents and my parents and my aunt, and the support and love from the community is amazing. Sandy, she created a quilt for me that after my mother was murdered that I still have with me at all times. And she said she signed it put the date on it and always told me that it's like basically a hug that I can hold anytime when you miss the arms of your mother. That is what creating together brings. That is what Stampin' Up! Has an ability to bring into my life. I had Miss Dolores come in, and she sat down at my crafting table in Thousand Oaks upon the passing of my mother and said that I'm never without a mother, that I have her to lean on. Oh, I'm going to cry. And I'm not a crier. I'm not going to cry. We're good. I'm going to get all verklempt. And so I just want to say that if you have been part of this journey, or even if you're just catching this video and you want to catch my old tutorials, I adore what I've been able to do over the last 20 years. I've been able to work from home. I've been able to model for my children what it is to not only work from home, bring income in, model mentorship to my children to see through our business and my team that's nationally. A lot of those team members are like unofficial aunties to my kids. My kids reach out to some of those women and text them when they need something. It's amazing. What a family that crafting has brought for us. And so when my husband was in the hospital, it was a lot of my Stampin' Up! Friends that reached out. How could they support me? How can they help me? It gave me an opportunity to bless and minister to others. A handmade card sits on the shelf of people, if you guys don't know, an average of 3 years. 3 years, because they don't get cards in the mail. So if you are making cards, or if you're just picking up a card that you see that's beautiful, send it or give it to somebody. Celebrate somebody's birthday with a handmade card, or a card with a handwritten note that you've sent into them, because it may be the only one they get in 3 years. One of my dearest pseudo nieces, her husband passed away while he was deployed. He had been receiving cards from me to send back to her, as well as it expanded and became one of our biggest projects of card packages and care packages for soldiers that were deployed. We carried that ministry for a huge, huge time of my career, and it expanded. My whole team and our customer bases embraced it. We've been nationally awarded by the U.S. Army and U.S. Marines for the care packages that we sent. What an honor and a blessing. And I'll tell you a little story on one of those. One of my dearest friends and part of my team, Michelle, she was a crafter that I met through the Parks and Rec Center, believe it or not. And she was handling a lot of the care packages for us that was being sent. And she sent it to her nephew because our contact had changed and we needed to reach out to somebody. We do this unofficially. We don't do it through the military branches. We don't do it through an organization. We were literally creating, I think it was average of 50 boxes to send to soldiers that were deployed. Michelle did 2 amazing things. So Michelle sent it to her nephew because he was in charge of a branch of military while they were deployed in the Middle East. And she received a phone call back from somebody that had gone into the Boy Scouts with her son. This father called and received a card, and the card had her information in it, like maybe a note or her stamp on the back. We often stamped it so that they knew that it was being sent by one of us. And the father's son was deployed and had been in her Boy Scout troop and had been underneath and been one of her son's best friends. So he's serving abroad, received a card that we sent. The father receives it back in California from his son in the Middle East, and it's from Michelle. Michelle created that card for him. That was a common. Michelle also reached out, and when we had a female soldier that reached out that was getting married but couldn't get her invitations done, so when she returned home that they would be able to have their wedding, Michelle and her group created a couple hundred handmade wedding cards to send off to the soldiers so that she could have that done while she was serving abroad. Handmade wedding invitations. That is what Stampin' Up! Does. We were not only able to bless the woman, but Michelle and other people on our team and my customers and our stamping friends and our community. We opened it up to the community. We're nationally, we were in our county in Ventura County, California, were accommodated multiple times for opening up. We had World War II veterans and Vietnam veterans come, and they weren't able to craft. They might have been shaking. They might have been without the ability to stamp, but they were able to sit there while people created cards to send soldiers, and they would write on a post-it note, a care note to the soldiers, and we would send it off. There's all kinds of rules and regulations with sending care packages like that. We learned a lot. And so do your research before you do it. But it was a blessing. A lot of the soldiers that get sent abroad are also in the foster care system. They age out and they don't have a place to go. And so one of the places they can go that will provide room, board, and an opportunity for growth and even an opportunity for college, which they probably do not have, is through the United States military. And so knowing that came in full circle, that foster care kids were receiving Christmas packages from us, that we would send Valentine packages. We started sending those, I think, in January so that they would get them in time. They would get these little care packages. The women, we would send packages with chapstick. And this is what Stampin' Up! Brought into my life. And my life and my children's lives and my husband's life are so much better for it. My children have a passion for our military. My son recently, I think he was saying he purchased a meal for somebody in the military. I don't know if he hadn't been raised helping stuff packages in that he would have turned around and been as supportive with the military as he is now. I am really grateful for the gift of crafting with people all over the world for the last 20 plus years. As of January, it was my 20th anniversary, and right now this is in August. And so I've been meaning to wrap up my business. I really held on, but my husband asked me to change and pivot, and I have. I've now created an online business where I don't need to purchase any products because I have a lot of Stampin' Up! Stuff, and I'm okay with that. I can still create, and I actually host, still having events in my studio. I have a beautiful 1,800 square foot studio in our attic, and I'm able to host friends over here for crafts with paper crafting, but also beads, stained glass. We've just been creating, basically. And I don't have enough words to describe what my crafting friends, stampers, and my crafting team has been in my life. With those that have joined me on Facebook Lives, YouTube Lives, Instagram, all the different social media platforms, and how you have supported me. How you took and helped support a mom earn trips all over the world multiple times over and over to take my husband and to take my children on places I never would have imagined going. Having an amazing experiences that were paid at a first class experience would not have happened with our current budget when we were living, because we were we would consider house poor in California. Since then, it has fueled and fostered and supported my passion for traveling. And I now am able to travel with a lot of the different stampers at different points of time and meet them. Was invited to a recent wedding where the invitation I received from my friend Angela was all handcrafted, and she sent it out, and I'm not able to go because it's on the same weekend as the crafting retreat, or the retreat for the women's ministry. But that's the kind of story that Stampin' Up! Provides. So yes, I hear there's a lot of people talking about how much Stampin' Up! Has changed, but I will tell you, I've changed. And I am still who I am at the core of it. I'm still in love with all of the crafting that I love to do and finding new ways to create something. I think people that are creators and crafters, there's a special world for you. I think that you see the world in a different way. For those that joined in order to have a business, I loved seeing not only myself, that's one of the reasons I joined, was because I wanted to provide for our family and create something. When you grow up as poor as I had grown up, you really always want to provide for your family. Thank you for Stampin' Up! For 20 years of being part of my Stampin' Up! Journey and my crafting journey and providing for our family's budget. Thank you for the friendship that you've done for me over the years, and thank you for the amazing opportunities to meet so many phenomenal people from all over the world. If you were part of my Getting Crafty stamping group, I just love you. I miss our gatherings around the table as we created together. I've lost multiple sisters in the crafting world to cancer, and so I think of Laura, and I think of Donna, and I think of all the amazing connections that are written in a way, I would almost say stamped or embossed into the very fabric of who I am. And so thank you for your support. This is Jamie with gettingcrafty.net. I am signing off. I am going to be creating still. I am still going to be working from home. I just do it now with digital marketing, and it's been phenomenal at providing for our family in this new season. And Stampin' Up! Is still, like, I have a lot of product. I'm not going to be getting rid of it, right? I'm going to be embracing all of it. I'm going to be able to sit back and watch the people that I love so much creating from all over the world and being inspired to get upstairs and create a graduation card, birthday card, a wedding card. So thank you. Thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you for being a part of our lives and our family. Thank you for those that were able to walk alongside of my children and myself through so many stages in life. One of my favorite stories is my daughter Genevieve came home in kindergarten and she wanted to teach magic and she wanted Stampin' Up to do it. I was like, magic? What are you doing? And she grabs the butterfly background stamp set, which I won awards for with amazing technique, by that way, for it. Anyway, she says, I'm going to use this background stamp that Mom loves so much. And she did. She stamped it and put in the green embossing powder, as she called it, the camo embossing embossing powder. It was the gold embossing powder. She drew it as she dusted it off, and she was showing a friend that she'd stamped it in Versamark, poured this powder on it, and then she put this heat tool on it, and it became gold. And oh, it rose and it shined, and she showed to her friend when it was done, look, magic. So whatever journey you're in, I hope that you find the magic in everything that you're creating, and know that business is still part of my fabric. Crafting is still part of my fabric, and I hope that it's part of yours. I hope that you find love and joy and an ability to bless other people with a handmade project, a connection in a way that is so good. Creating with others, there's an intimacy that occurs when you create with others that I don't think can be surpassed in a way that just talking or hanging out can do. Just something about creating, right? So create the beautiful life that you want and connect with others, because card making and crafting is an amazing way to spread some love. Thank you. This is Jamie. I don't know if I'll be paying for the blog.com for a .net for a long time, but if you guys ever want to check it out, gettingcrafty.net. Hopefully you can still see those posts and video tutorials. I have a ton. I have a couple thousand, I think, video tutorials in my 20 years of creating. So God bless. Have a good one. Thank you.